Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1608.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about are new investors disadvantaged by not investing sooner? Now, this could apply to stocks or it could apply to crypto, but we're going to talk about the investing side because particularly in cryptocurrency, you have a lot of volatility. You have volatility on the upside and volatility on the downside. In fact, sometimes it's a little mind-boggling because one day in crypto can be what the whole year takes for the S&P to gain. Last year, the S&P was up 17%. And there were many days in crypto where crypto moved by 17%. So it's kind of mind-boggling how volatile crypto is. But having said that, some people came into crypto right at the high, and we've had a sharp pullback since October. So does that mean you've missed something? Does that mean you're disadvantaged? Does that mean anything other than your account may be down from where you came in? Well, one thing I can't do is make promises or guarantees. But I can say that in my long investing experience, markets are going to move up, markets are going to move down. There's going to be massive volatility. When you're talking about crypto, it's even more magnified. But it doesn't put you to any disadvantage that you may have made your initial purchases higher. In investing, the cure is often time. Time in the market. Waiting for markets. And even Warren Buffett says one of the most difficult things for investors is patience. He says the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. And he also says the biggest thing about making money is time. You don't have to be particularly smart, you just have to be patient. And I agree with that. There's going to be different times where the market has peaks and then sharp pullbacks. Certainly going into October, XRP was exceedingly strong and had incredible performance. And then, like all cryptocurrencies, had a very sharp pullback. And it was a little harder psychologically because XRP had new ETFs coming out. So many people were excited, thinking that all that new money coming into the market would pump XRP's price. And just the opposite happened. There's large pools of money, large professional investors who know these kinds of psychological things. They know when people are excited and new investors are coming into the market. And that's exactly when many of them take the opportunity to short the market or drive prices down because it's the unexpected thing. They make money when they can short the market. They're selling at a higher price and buying it back at the lower price and making the difference. To them, it doesn't matter whether the market goes up or whether the market goes down. They're making money either way. And sometimes they can make money faster on the downside since people tend to panic more and markets tend to drop faster than they rise. With cryptocurrency, we still are in a speculative market. And I say that because if you compare it to the stock market, for example, the stock market has real businesses, real earnings, a real level of predictability in terms of what those earnings are going to do. And so when market strategists say they expect the average earnings to be up 14% this year in the S&P 500, that's a big number, and that's a positive number. It doesn't mean it will happen, and it doesn't mean there won't be pullbacks along the way, but they're saying the outlook for profitability is strong, and that's what drives the stock market prices. With crypto, we don't really have that. We just have a speculative market still. We have things like projects and alliances and utility, and sometimes we have acquisitions too. All of those things can be positive, and all I'm saying is just that they're not as predictable as talking about earnings in the stock market. So the two really can't be compared. Right now with crypto, we're still so early If you think back to the internet era, it's almost like when internet cables, the transnational cables, were laid under the ocean for internet before the internet companies really could be developed and create market share and have speed and transactions per minute and security through encryption and all the different things that came after the cable was laid. There were different iterations that it had to go through and different technology that made it more successful. Just those early days in the internet and the slow downloads on the pages were nothing like what we experience with live streaming and the fast movement that we have in the internet today. And that reminds me a little bit like where we are in crypto. It's still the very early days. So whether you invested in one of your favorite cryptos at a quarter or at 20 cents or at $1 or $3, there's still a long way to go before the utility catches up. And the price that you're paying today, in my opinion, isn't as important as where we're going. So what can you do as an investor? The only thing we can do, which is be patient, dollar cost average in, make sure you have the investment that you want, because when prices move higher, which I think they inevitably will, people may lament that they aren't able to buy at low prices anymore and buy as much as they can at this level. I believe that day will come. I don't know when, but I do believe it will come. So in the meantime, stay confident, know what you own, and lock in for the exciting times in cryptocurrencies ahead. Those days are coming. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as new podcasts are available. And all of my podcasts are on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. And while you're there, sign up for my weekly newsletter for more wealth tips for your financial freedom. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.